What is going on so far?
Okay, so I know that there's 7,
Yep.
and that. Okay, so yeah, this is a good one because there's different things going on. So then there's 4, but there's 4 resource officers. So each
Yes.
application will be evaluated by exactly 1 officer, and 1 officer will evaluate at least 1 application subject. Okay. Okay, so you're trying to figure out which officers are going to evaluate which candidates.
Yes. So we know that our candidates are F, G, H, I, K, L, and M. And then we know our resource officers are R, S, T, and U. Do you think it's going to be easier to diagram this so we're like putting them under their letter, or putting the letters under, sorry, that sounds weird, their letters under like who's doing it? Like, what do you think we should make like our like substance that we are then trying to put stuff into? Like, what should be our
Oh, like I think that you should be trying to put the officers into the applications, right? Because there's more. Or no, the other way.
The other way.
Yeah,
Yes.
the other way.
Excellent.
Because
There's
yeah,
because
that would
more,
make
we
more
want to
sense.
have we want to have the fewer in this
Yeah.
situation, at least we want to have the fewer as like our whole.
Yes.
So R, S, T, and U. And then we're going to try to put our other things in those. Excellent. So A or F, G, H, I, K, L, and M. All right. So now what?
Okay. So now we have the constraints that we have to focus
Yes.
on. So it says that grants application must be evaluated by so G must be evaluated by you.
Yeah, so I love this one. So I'm literally just going to go in here and put G.
Okay. So I'll make a chart. I'm writing this too, so if I take long, that's why.
It's really fine.
Okay. And then Farrell's application must be
After
evaluated.
we do that, we know where G is. I'm just going to literally cross G off here.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right. So now what's the next one?
Okay. Farrell's application must be evaluated by the same officer who evaluates Lopez's application. Okay, so F and L must go in the same one.
Yep. So I would just draw this like F, L, and I would put a box around it.
Okay. And then neither Hong's application nor Madsen's application can be evaluated by the same officer who evaluates Inman's application.
So what does this mean?
So H and M cannot be in the same category as I.
Yeah. So I would draw this one like if we have I, then we can't have H.
Okay.
And we can't have M. Or I would say, so essentially the contrapositive of that is like if we have M, then we can't have I. Or if we have H, we can't have I.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. All right, so then what about the next rule?
Okay, so the officer who evaluates Kent's application cannot evaluate any other applications. So that means there's only going to be one letter.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wait, no. Yeah.
I'm like, K, you are on your own.
Yeah, just K.
And where do we know that K does not go?
comprehensive application cannot evaluate. And then we know that K does not go.
Between RST and U, which one do you think it can't go in?
I think that.
So if K can't be with anybody else, then what letter can it not go with? Or what?
U.
U, yeah. So we
Right
know
now.
that this is not K.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I would really write that there, like on the.
Yeah.
I just want to start asking you questions for like what things that you can think about.
Yeah, because I don't usually like. I should write it more detailed.
Or like even like I mean, you can write it in more detail to like
Or at least
force yourself to think about it. But mainly, like you should start like every time you like, don't just like write a rule like, oh, I got the rule, good. Like take a second and think about what this rule means.
Yeah.
All right, and then what about this last one?
Smith must evaluate more of the applications than Tipton does.
All right,
So
this is more than okay. So the other thing that we should have done at the beginning is I didn't think about is we need to have we have at least one on each of these, right?
yeah.
And so we have 7 total. All right, cool. And so if S has more than T, we know that S at least has 2, right?
Yeah.
And so now we have 5 spots, but we still have 2 remaining. But if S has more than T, who do we know does not go in S?
If S has more than T.
It's similar to the one that we just did.
Oh, okay. Reread these. Would it be K or
Yeah, it can't be because K can't go with anybody else.
yeah.
Cool. So that was okay. So now we know. So now we're at the point where like I would decide to make worlds.
Okay.
And so there's 2 rules that I'm really thinking about right now. One is that K is either an R or T. I'm thinking like, should I make 2 worlds, like one where K is an R and one where K is in T? And the other one that I want to play with is what are my options for what could happen to S and T? So we know that S has more than T, right?
Yeah.
And so what that could look like, you don't have to draw this, but I'm just drawing this so you can see this.
Yeah.
So what this looks like is like S could have 2 and T could have 1, right? S could have 3 and T could have 1. Or S could have 3 and T could have 2, right? Those are our only options based on S having more than T. And so I think this is what I would do my worlds on, this idea.
Okay.
And so, let me move this over here so I can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy what world I have right now. And so I'm like, okay, so right now I'm determining to have 3. Oh, not that. Two, 3. I'm going to erase this just for a second. Okay. And so now I'm going to have one where we have 2 and 1, one where we have 3 and 1, and one where we have. Actually, the other thing I'm thinking about is can there be 4 and 1?
If there was 4,
We
5,
have
6,
3 and
yeah.
2. I think we could also have 4, 1, and 1 and 1. So really, we're going to make 4.
Yeah.
All right. And this one's going to have 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. So now let's think about our other conditions. So the one that I'm really paying attention to now is, so in these ones, for the S and T, I'm gonna put an X at the bottom because I know nothing else can go there.
Okay.
All right, so now looking at our rules, so let's pay attention to this 6. I don't like that. Honestly, I don't love this. I'm sorry to like take you back. I feel like that didn't help us as much as I thought it would.
That's okay.
I like that we like determined what like it could be, but I feel like that actually leaves a lot of options. So I think actually I'm gonna go back to the K one, and I'm gonna put K in R in 1,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna make a second one, and I'm gonna put K in T. Okay, so the reason I like this better is because I know that K is on its own. So in this scenario, I know that this one is full.
Okay.
Like nobody else can go here. I think that that's helpful.
Yeah. That does make sense.
But other than that, I feel like I would actually go this. I was hoping that this would be a good one to show you worlds, but I feel like this is just not a great game to show you worlds. I think I would just go into the questions, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there's just not a lot that we can determine. Like if we have I, we can't have M and H. That doesn't really help us.
I think I did this one yesterday.
Did I do worlds in it?
I don't remember.
Interesting. Do you want to do a different one? Or continue on with this one?
We can continue on with this one because I don't even remember.
All right, so how I typically do the first question is I reread my rules. It's like when it says G must be with you, I would just look through all of them and see if G is with you.
Yeah.
And so here, this one I would cross off E.
Yeah, this is always my best question because it's like,
You're like, I can follow the rules.
yeah, I'm good at following rules.
All right, what about the next one?
So the next one says Farrell's application must be evaluated by the same officer who evaluates Lopez. So Farrell and Lopez must be together. So for the first one, they are. For B,
I'm sorry, I'll give you more room. There you go.
okay. Oh, now I can see it. For B, they are not.
Fabulous.
For C, they are. And for D, they also are. And then the next rule says neither Hong's application nor Manson's application can be evaluated by the same officer who evaluates Inman's application. Okay, so those three can't be together.
Well, H and M could be together potentially, but
Yeah.
I can't be with H and I can't be with M.
Yeah, I just can't be with them. So you would cross out C then.
Yep, perfect.
And then the officer who evaluates Ken's application cannot evaluate anyone else. So you would cross out D and that would give you A.
Yep. And then sometimes what I do, if I like find one that works, I like quickly just write it down and circle it on my piece of paper just so I have it. So
Oh, okay.
ST, like if I would ever want to reference back to it.
Mm-hmm.
FLM. K, G, and I. All right. And then I do the if questions first, which all of these remaining questions happen to be if questions. So that doesn't really mean much for right now.
Okay.
But okay, so how would you go about solving number 7? Like if we read that question.
If Hong's application is evaluated by which one of the following could be true?
So what's your first step there to think about?
So I think that I would well, there's no rule that he
So what
like
we want to do here is we want to actually put H in R, right?
yeah.
So in which one of these scenarios, like within, I guess this is kind of helpful. So within 1 and 2, which one could H actually go in R?
2.
2, right. So if H is R, what do we know anything else?
We know that T would be K,
Hmm.
U is G. That's really about it. And that S has
Well,
2.
what do we know when there's H?
Oh, when there's H, there's F.
No,
Wait, let me look at mine. There's not I.
not I. Yep. So we just know that this is not I. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's start with A. Could F's application be evaluated by R?
No,
Why do you not think so?
because there's only one space.
Well, sorry, I don't
Oh.
have, there could be more spaces there. Like
That's
we only
true.
have 5 of the 7, but
Yeah,
let's
see,
look at
that's why I think they screw me up.
it. So if we had more here, so let's say that we did put F here and then we put L. So that would mean that M and I would have to go here, but does that work?
No,
No, because M and I can't be together. So we
yeah,
know that it's not A.
correct.
Okay, what about B?
Okay, so in is evaluated by Smith, so I would go under S.
So who else could we potentially be there with I? Because that's going to be our biggest problem is finding someone to go with I.
Not H, not M. Not G and not K. Uh, L or F.
Yeah, so they would have to go together. So could we put F and L here?
No.
Why
Or I
can't
guess potentially.
potentially, yeah. And so I'm thinking that, and then H, I actually don't, I think that one actually works because H and M could either go in R or U.
Yeah.
I don't hate that one. Okay. What about K being by R? Nope, because we already have K and T. So that's
Yeah.
the one to cross off. Okay, L is by U. Can L go here?
No.
Why not?
Because only
Oh,
G is
sorry.
L.
Just well, we don't. G is not only G. But G. Sorry, I feel like I'm really confusing you with my dashes. If I don't have a dash under it, that means like under
Yes,
of
yes,
an head.
yes.
That's how I do it. Personally, so like actually, I think we could. Okay, let's see. So we have GLF. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 7. But that would leave M and I together and S.
Oh, okay.
So that does, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
All right, and then what about E?
M is valued by T. No.
Nope, because only K can go there in this scenario.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So our answer is B. All right, what about 8?
Okay. If exactly 2 of the applications are evaluated by Tipton, then each of the following must be true.
Excellent. Okay. So what world are we looking at?
It would be the first one.
Yes. And so we're going to put another dash
Yeah,
in
we
there.
would have to add another.
So, and then if we add a dash here, where else do we have to add a dash?
Under, oh wait, Tipton has to, we have to add another one, right?
At where?
Under S.
Yes,
Under S.
at least 3. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is all 7. So they're actually all being.
Okay.
All right, so that happens.
So then, if exactly 2 are being evaluated by Tipton, then each of the following must be true except. So exactly 1 of the applications is evaluated by R. That's true.
Yep, so we're going to cross that off.
Exactly 1 of the applications is evaluated by U. That's true. F's application is evaluated by T. If you put F there, then L would go there also. But
Okay.
that would leave I and M and H together.
Awesome.
So that would not happen. And then the other one, I's application is evaluated by S. So you could put I there. Then you could put F and L.
Yep, and then you'd put H and M,
Yeah.
and then L is the same thing. Like you would have I.
Yeah.
There. Excellent.
Okay, yeah, this is starting to make more sense. I think that this also might help me more for like the last 2 questions because I wasn't even like, I was kind of doing this, but I also was kind of like, I don't even know how I was solving those. Like I was also wasn't setting it up like this. I was just doing dash marks. So like this chart makes more sense to me.
Oh yeah, you're constantly gonna learn. Like it's constantly evolves. Like
Yeah.
I said, there's no science to this.
Yeah. So this definitely like is starting to make more sense.
Okay, so
Okay.
the 9 says that the officer who evaluates M does not evaluate any other application.
So does not any other application. Okay. So M has to be by itself.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'm looking at both of our worlds here. So I had a G here. And I'm gonna say like, okay, so M's by itself. So I'm gonna put an M here. And then the other one, I'm gonna put an M
In
here.
there. Okay.
And so who do we have left then? We have F and L, and then H, M, and I. Oh, M's here. Okay. So we just know that H and I cannot be together.
Yeah. So
where does F and L have to go?
for the first one, F and L would have to go under S.
Yes, because we have to split up H and I. So H
Correct.
and I would have to go here, and then the other one would go under G.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then the same in S here. It has to be F and L here because we have to have at least 2 here, and we can't have H and I together. So one will go here, and the other will go under U.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So then if the officer, okay. So M's application is evaluated by T. In the first one,
But does it have to be true?
no.
Excellent.
Oh,
So,
yes, because it says must be true. Let's see,
right,
that's what I
but
need to
not
get.
that one.
So Lopez's application is evaluated by Smith. L is evaluated by S. That is a possibility.
Yeah, because it happens in both. I like
It
that
happens in
one.
both. Kent's application is evaluated by T. No, because it doesn't happen in both. I is evaluated by S. That is a possibility, right? Oh no, no, because it could be G.
Yeah, H or I.
Or
That's H or I.
U. Yeah, yeah.
So that's why D and D are
Correct.
both wrong.
Correct. Yes.
Fabulous. All right. Now
That's
let's go on to number 10.
okay. So if Farrell's application is evaluated by the same officer who evaluates Inman's application. Okay, so F and I have to go together.
Oh, you're so good. If F and I is by the same, so F and I are together, that means F, I, and L are all together.
Yes. So that means there'll be 3.
And where do you think they're gonna go?
Um, so in the first one, they would go in S.
Yeah, because we can't put 4 or 3 people together in any other one.
Yes.
We're gonna do F, L, and I at least.
And then in the second one, they would go in R. Or
F,
no.
no,
No, because S has to have the most.
yeah, well, okay, I'm trying to think. If we put F, I, and L here, that would be 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it could work. We could see.
Okay.
F, I, and L. That leaves M. No, because you would have to put M and H here.
Okay.
Oh no, you could.
Yeah.
Problem with that. Yeah. Or, but I was these two, but this could also be switched. I'll just draw it that way. Like we could have F, I, and L and S, and M and H and R too.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
here in T, what we have is T would have to be H or M. And then the other one would just have to go in U.
Under G. Correct. Okay.
All right.
So
So if it could happen, we cross it off.
Hong's H is evaluated by U. It could happen. So K is evaluated by T. Could happen.
Yep,
L is evaluated by U. That could not happen.
correct. Okay, and then D.
M is evaluated by S. That could happen. And M is evaluated by U. That could happen.
Fabulous. All right, and then lastly, number
Um, if Farrell's application is so if F is evaluated by R, then for how many of the other yes, this is the one I got wrong. I remember this. So if F is evaluated by R, then for how many of the other applications is the identity of the officer who evaluates fully determined?
So what scenario are we looking at then?
Okay, so
One or
the
two?
second one,
Yeah, why?
because we don't have K under R.
Yeah, because yes, excellent. So if F is here, who else do we know then?
Um, F doesn't have to, or F and L have to be together. So then L would also be there.
Awesome. And so we know that there has to be at least 2 in S, F, L, K, G,
And
F,
so
K, G. So we have H, M, and I left.
H and I.
So do we know where any of those go?
Would H and I go under S?
Well, can H and I go together?
Oh, shoot, no, because it's M, H, and I all can't, right?
Right. But we know that there has to be at least 2 here, right?
Yeah.
So then who does it need to be?
Um, K. Oh, K's already there. would G have to go there?
We already have G under U.
Yeah. Okay.
So up here, like, since our last one, I'm just gonna cross them off. So we have F used, we have L used, and we have K used. So we
Okay.
only have H, M, and I left.
Yeah.
So then who has to be the two that go there?
It would have to be M and I, right?
No, it's not I, right?
Oh, M and
So,
H.
so it has to be, yes, H and M, because they can't be with I.
Yes, correct.
So the only one where we don't know where they go is I, because I could go here or I could go under U or G.
Okay.
So when it says how many, then for how many of the other applications, a lot of people miss this question because they count F for it, but really we don't count F, we count how many other. And so it's
Oh,
2,
okay.
3, 4, 5. So
That
the
makes
answer
sense.
is E.
Because I was just gonna say 6, but you don't count F, so it's 5.
Yeah. And that's how you do that game.
Okay.